going on, guys? Kind of wanted to address a couple small issues since I have a day off from work and I guess kind of fix them. When I pulled the dash out to kind of like clean up the posts on the gas gauge and the tach, what had happened was it actually took me, I'd say like 2 weeks to figure out. I don't know if you'll be able to tell here, but right here, there's the little stop for the needle. And when I pulled it out to clean it and put the cluster back in, the needle's actually stuck underneath the little stop. So it should be sitting above it slightly. That way when it comes back down, it doesn't go too far down. But here, all it keeps doing is hitting the stop. So it literally won't move further up. So today, I'm gonna pull the dash out, I guess kind of tip it forwards a little bit, just so the needle goes back over. That way we can, actually see what we're doing. All right, let's make this a little bit easier. So the first step of this whole process is going to be, I don't know if you'll be able to see them, but there's a screw here and a screw there. Have to take those to remove the bezel first. This next part is slightly tricky, only because of the positioning you have to get into, but this is a little thumb screw that is up there. It's kind of hard to see because it's actually in the inner part, which actually removes this little panel here. So after you remove this panel here, it should look a little something like this, and you're actually able to get to, there's a screw here and a screw there, and then I believe that removes the rest of the actual bezel itself. And after you remove the bezel, you'll get to this kind of like naked look, and there's one last screw here that holds it in, and then one on this side as well. And then after that, we'll be able to pull this guy out. Then after we pull that guy out, those two little tabs, we kind of get this. And then there's a couple little plugs that you have to just basically untab and remove, and then you'll be able to pull this out. And then from there, we'll be able to flip it, get that needle back in the correct place, and it should be good from there. Boom, she's out. So if I remember correctly, because if you look at it, it's not going anywhere. I think we have to break apart this end piece here, the cover, and then actually be able to manually move the needle itself. So I'm gonna take this apart real quick and then kind of go from there. So you guys can probably see the problem here. And I don't know why this isn't something I caught the first time I did it, but it's just something stupid. And it's kind of been bothering me for a long time because I thought my tach went bad, which is actually a common problem with these. Basically any gauge can go bad at any point. At least based on YouTube, that's what I see a lot of people with these cars. They're kind of like messed up as far as the gauges go. But if you literally look here, we'll literally take this and just put it over top that. And now my tach should work fine. So let's put this all together and see what we got. Got it all back together. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little heartbroken. Might not be able to tell, but trying to put it in, it got stuck on one of the clips and this little crack happened there. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. Probably not, but like it's not invisible, but it's also kind of hard to see. Just one of those things where I know it's there, so it's gonna bother me. I already know this is one of those common excuses everyone says, especially to get out of bullshit. But I just want to take the time to address that whoever the previous owner of this car was, well, I kind of know who it is, but they like pulled this bottom section of the dash off. So unfortunately, I have to be cheap and pretty much zip tie it into the panel. But to give you an idea, they also fucked up the radio. And this is why I want to go back to like the OEM stock radio. Well, that and it looks cool, but well, I'm not going to pull it out just because it's kind of rigged in there. But the wiring is all janky, so I want to take the time to pull that out in another video and kind of do a rundown of how to fix it and then put the stock one back in. Moment of truth to see if it works. Sorry if there's like a lot of rumbling noise. It's probably just going to be my compressor kicking on for the bags. But let's give it a test. Hell yeah, looks like it's working. Let's see if we can get a little closer. in another video, I'm gonna have to go over what I want to do to the fronts. When I did my bags, the front struts, the strut towers, not the strut towers, Jesus. The camber plates that came with the struts are actually, there's like a flat part and a round part. It's supposed to be round on the inside, I believe, and then flat on this side, but I have it flipped on the other side for both sides just because I wasn't sure how the layout was. And it's just one of those things where it's kind of bothering my OCD. It doesn't affect anything as far as performance or anything, but just one of those things where I could get a little bit more camber, so when I turn the wheels, I'm not destroying anything when I'm aired out. Like right now, I think there's 26 or 25 pounds in the front still. So I mean, it's still very hard to get your hand up there or fingers up there, but it's not aired all the way out either. And I do that just so I don't destroy the fenders, but if I was slightly cambered more, I wouldn't worry about this hitting my fender at all, especially the inner lip. I think the rears right now are sitting with like 10 pounds in them. But let's start putting some stuff away here, and then we'll worry about this guy. Made a terrible mistake and forgot to roll my window up. So let's just fix that real quick. So let's just give this guy a start. Yesterday, I put this on, the little brush guard, and it was tricky because there's a bracket that goes up here. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. That might be a little better. There's a bracket that goes up here when you mount this. It's got to go through the tow hook. Well, I guess you could have done it without the tow hook. I just like them. To go through the tow hook, into the bracket, and then into the bracket that holds it in place. But the funny part too was this bracket for the actual brush guard itself was on the other side. I had to flip them over and shift them forward a little bit so that I could actually get all the bolts in. Otherwise, you would really have to cut part of the bumper to make the brush guard fit at all. So I bought this truck for like 600 bucks because I needed it daily, and I don't like driving the E30 every day, just because, you know, I'm trying to build something out of it and I want to make it last. But let's see how the startup is, see if it actually cranks. So, definitely realize having the brush guard, trying to open the hood, and holding a camera in one hand is right next to impossible. But she runs nice and healthy, so I'm pretty happy about that. Had to replace all tires. Or no, you know what? I think it was the rears. The rear tires were really bad, and the fronts were okay. Overall, I think it's an awesome truck. It's got minimal rust. I think there, and then there's one on the fender over here. That's like the main issues. Yeah, right there. But other than that, I think that's honestly probably it. Let's see. I had to replace the front left axle because the CV boot was bad, and it was just easier to actually get the axles. And then it was a bunch of stuff like the upper half of the fuel lines that are where the motor goes, like more towards the motor. I'm trying to think what else. Oh yeah, mirror. Had to replace the mirror. Went through a couple of those that didn't look right because this one was like the OEM one, and then those are kind of like, I guess, from an earlier model. But right now it's pretty much just been focusing on cleaning it, making sure it runs, getting it to pass inspection. That was the main issue. Thank God that finally passed. So Wednesday, I'm going to get tags for it so we can actually drive it on the road for the first time. Well, legally. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We did have to replace this tailgate because the old one, the latch didn't work. And I got a second one for it. The latch, only one side worked, so you would have to pull it and then also pull the little lever inside here at the same time. So it was just kind of annoying. So we got this one, and gonna have that put in very soon. And then I also have a Reese hitch that I'm trying to put on because I want to be able to tow the E30 everywhere. And I think that's pretty much it as far as updates on vehicles. Like I said, there's the strut thing I want to do with the BMW pretty soon. And then I think that's pretty much it. I do have a plan to build the head that I've been working on and put that in. So I'm just waiting on a couple more parts to come in the mail. And then it's going to have the 272 cam, brand new head, doing the head rebuild. Got a bunch of gaskets for it to just pretty much do everything. And I think that's pretty much it. So this is the head I was talking about earlier. It's kind of buried under here. Just trying to build it slowly. Let's see. Here's, oh Jesus, spider webs. Here's all my stuff as far as some of the parts I needed. So let's see. I have my exhaust bolts with the new copper nuts. These are the head bolts. I have this little guy. Uh-oh. Those are important. Heavy duty rocker arms. And then also, let's see, where'd they go? They're in one of these boxes. I have my eccentrics. Oh, you know what? I lied. They're over here. My eccentrics over here. But this is the head. Oh, peep that little airlift. As you can see, there's still tape on it a little bit from when I was painting it. Guess some of that got scratched up. Might have to go over that. But here it is. That's the 272 cam in there. Very, very, very excited to put that in. I've wanted that for a long time. And a guy in Pennsylvania actually had this head, actually. Not the valve cover. I got that from a guy in California. Just because I figured if I'm rebuilding it, I might as well just kind of, you know, use my own and everything. Just kind of start fresh. But he had it in Pennsylvania. Went and picked it up. Cleaned it up a little bit. As you can tell, it's been sitting here for a couple months, so I'll have to clean it even further. Probably end up polishing it. I don't know why I can't get this on there. But that's the plan. I still want to replace some of these studs or bolts. And then I still have to get the chip to run the tune from SS Squid. And then the gasket kit's on its way now. So once all that's done, I'll be ready to install this. I think for right now, that's all the updates I have for you guys. I wanted to make a little bit longer of a video, but I think that's really all we can go over right now. I'm pretty happy with everything, just because I know time management for today is a little tough. I have some errands to run and go meet up with some people, talk about like photo shoots, and I'm supposed to be shooting a wedding. But I wanted to be able to do something on my car because it's just been sitting for a little bit. I've been worried too much about getting the truck fixed, and I've kind of neglected the car a little bit. But I'm trying to make sure that everything's okay with that. Runs great still. Doesn't have any problems starting up like the truck does. But yeah, so head build coming soon. Waiting for some pieces to come in the mail. And then that's pretty much it. I have some other plans, but I'll have to keep you guys updated with that. All right, I'll see you in the next one.